Open up the fire and try to put some shots in, but not hitting anybody quite yet. And in the meantime, holding the angle, trying to see if they can get a catch here on Dan, who's, again, trying to hold angle. It's consulate. It's a game of bringing out the protractor, lining things up, and seeing just how you can draw these lines and these separations across the map itself. Blur is flirting with danger here. They're going a little bit wider and hoping that Dan's a little bit unaware. The spray comes through. They're just able to dabble and dance, but it allows the pressure on the door to actually start to slip through a little, as they're just trying to restructure for this final minute. A lot of fire being tossed towards Blur's way, and Dan really wants to make sure that they have the opportunity to enter. There's still going to be that clash, which will be disabled with the EMP, and that means that there's no CC coming in for now. Also, the stuns are coming out. Not the kill, however. Nafe will be allowed to live. That means that the shield will still be active, and they are going to be having a very hard time trying to get this plant in, but always he opens up the score. And that's over the shoulder of the Clash as well, who's refound the mantle inside the site itself. Doki's able to get one back again using that Clash, but look at that drive up long desk all the way to the top of Spiral. It's so isolating. That fight all the way across the top. There's barely any cover and loads of audio, and Nath is capitalizing on it. Gets one, gets dropped. The Clash is gone out of the room and out of the board, but with the hold there from Saves, drops the double. Only a handful of seconds left, but secretly make sure they don't get all the way. Na'Vi, they're able to, with a little bit of restructuring there inside the Clash, as I said, sort of meet the foes face on and say, not today. Lack of potential to get rid of that Clash in that play. Nice shots are quickly being tossed out as well, because there were some nice shots that we saw. Well, we didn't really see that one that we were talking about, but in general, very tight angles are being watched. Some good holds are being put up here. And right now, Na'Vi up against Empire. It's 1-1. We keep on trading. There's no clash around this time, but it's definitely going to be in the back of Empire's mind that it might be a possibility, something they will have to deal with, and that might make them a little bit more careful with their utility in the original start of the round until they figure out that there indeed will be no clash. We are heading towards the middle floor, though. It's going to be lobby press, and Na'Vi continue their rotation. They're not even going to be deciding to go instantly to that bottom floor again, probably due to how Empire managed to quickly dismantle them. Might need a bit of extra time to, well, maybe find an adaptation, or just, of course, want to stay in their own flow. There's multiple reasons of why not to go back straight away. And now Na'Vi are setting up for that top floor roam. You see a couple of players upstairs. It's Saves, I believe it's Doki as well. That is, of course, playing on that Mozzie. Probably putting up some pests on the admin windows, which make it harder to get any drones through. And there's also going to be a Frostmat that is going to be hoping to pick up one of these players that quickly enter. Of course, should be droned out, but doesn't always get droned out, and that's the issue. I think here as well, you can see they've gone for a bit of extension on the top. There's also always going to be that play underneath. Nath with the pulse is an exceptionally powerful operator in general for a map like Consulate. It gives you a lot more space, a lot more of being able to get the read on just where the push is coming from, which is something that can play into the guns of Na'Vi, who seemingly wanted to be a little bit more responsive. They know how well Empire can set themselves up in terms of holds, but also they are more than aware of the skill that Empire can bring in terms of gunfights. It is a team that has been very sharp as this split has sort of driven itself on, and a team that just as close as they are to the end of this, and just as close as being able to get themselves in the major, it's something where they cannot really take anything for granted. Every firefight is tough in this 5 versus 5. It definitely is, and with 2 minutes left, Na'Vi still have a good hold. Not much has been taken care of by Empire yet, and that does mean that the pressure soon will start to arise. You can also see it already. All the red lines, they're in and around in admin, and we'll try to take the top floor control, whatever it takes, because it's going to be necessary. There's no way you're going to get that plant in if you do not clear out the players that are inside of the projector room. The big worry, however, is Nath, playing from below, has the opportunity to give away so much information whilst using the cardiac sensor. Of course, might not be able to quite hit it yet with these with the nitro he carries, but the information is already super valuable for a team like Na'Vi to act upon, because the rest will be in positions as Blur gets taken out first. And that's a bit of a lost Blur as well, not just in the fact that it's a sort of player who has been a big focus and a big clutch drive on this team before. Doki caught off to Dan. Well, he's sort of waiting for a bit of a push back there and hoping to catch it. Doki might be able to escape here and get picked up. There's nobody to get the instant lock off, but still, your two big gunners that are often the driving force of Na'Vi, especially against aggressive teams, so far haven't really been able to dig their teeth into this game. They've been able to pull themselves back in with some good sort of solid 5 holding here, but otherwise this consistent pressure, this aggression that's coming from Empire, well, it's everywhere. There's nowhere to really escape from their reach and their grasp right now, and Na'Vi are struggling to sort of find which firefight do we take first, because none of them are going their way.
None of them are for now, indeed, and the plant's coming down in the meantime, so that means the Nitro needs to come out, but there comes the cover from below. Joystick picks him up, and that means 45 seconds now on that clock. Doki gets taken out, and yet another flawless round for Empire here. In round number 1 and round number 3, they managed to pick them up, and now Na'Vi, well, they have 2 sites where they just got flawless on, and one that they won. However, the one that they did manage to win is currently still locked, and they will be forced to go to a new site. Archive Stellars comes out of the box, and that means we're going to go and see all 4 sites from Na'Vi. Let's see if this one will be a little bit more successful.
This is a very scary Empire. This is an Empire that's sort of everywhere they need to be. They're able to get themselves locked into these positions. They're sort of getting all these angles, these solid lines, these holds. They know where the danger's coming from. And it's that worrying kind of combination. It's that pressure of, you know, they're a great consular team. We wanted something sort of secret, sort of spicy here from Na'Vi, because it's something that they've sort of kept hidden for a long time, as it was pointed out on the desk. But here so far, whether they've got it or not, it seems a bit tough to try and pull the pieces together, because Empire, they're playing their pace anyway. They're taking the property, they're taking the real estate that they want and saying, well, we have this angle, we have this pocket, we have the room for the diffuser. They don't massively seem stressed outside of that middle round when things are going their way, and it's down to, unfortunately, Na'Vi to try and work out, well, how do we make things not go their way?
The one thing that comes to mind, though, if I think Na'Vi and Consulate, are comebacks. Of course, Blur versus Virtus Pro, last stage, able to put up an amazing comeback and really started to let Na'Vi rise into no longer the Doki show, because it, until then, was kind of Doki just performing massively every single game, and then Blur showed up huge. But of course, like if you go even further back, G2, was it a 5-1 that turned it around and became a Na'Vi game?
I believe
that is like way back.
The classic.
The classic. Definitely. But yeah, so, you know, it's never over until it's over. It's, I think that is, I think everybody can agree with me on that.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't throw out that Nitro. Okay, I was going to say, that could end badly as Shepard takes the first kill yet again, but this time it's Doki to drop.
Yeah, again, those sort of big guns haven't quite been able to find their way in, because Empire is so solid. Their hold and their approach, what they want to take control of, they're making sure that they do, and it becomes that tricky question for Na'Vi is, okay, how do we start to bite back against this? Scyther is just swinging wide, opening up the holes all the way down to the bottom to see if he can, I guess, put any pressure down on anyone. He's got a bit of time, got a bit of room, and drawing a little bit of attention here, as you can see just inside Tellers. There's a bit of a tuck-in, but the grenade pushes Blur into a slightly different situation. Saves has doubled up with Nathan the side as well. They're expecting the pressure to come through from this side itself, and wow, they still have time. Blur able to get himself off of the board there.
Well, I guess Scyther, thought he would be able to see him, but that could be an FFV thing, of course. And now they are aware of a player that is inside the tunnels. Joystick pops a couple of shots, but is not quite able to hit any. He's just going to dig in deep, and the rest of Na'Vi, they know that time is on their side. There's only 65 seconds left, and Empire will need to peak and will need to start pushing in at some point. And as long, of course, as you have that pulse available below that has another Nitro to potentially guide in the form of Secretly, you should be able to stop any plant to come down from that A bomb site, from the Archives bomb, Teller's bomb site. As they're slowly starting to set up, is still above and is going to be, well, taking down yet another one.
Yeah, Blur playing in a very dangerous area right now, but he's able to bring some of this force back in to Na'Vi. Take out 2 big bodies for Empire, take out a fair bit of utility, and kind of keep posing that question of danger. Dan takes a fight up top, saves. Couldn't quite angle it and expect it. You assume, based on the positioning, that there was a call on a pre-placed drone there, just to sort of give the read and the idea of where that pressure, that swing was coming from, and shut it out before it became a problem. But look at the time. 15 seconds. They got to try and stick that diffuser in, the drop on the body, and there's still one inside. The repositioning there puts them in a tricky situation, but with only 10 seconds, they've got to try and hop through this very dangerous window right now. They're going for it. There's the diffuser cold. There's one for secretly in Nath 2. Na'Vi, with a response built around the ballistic skill of Blur, they bring themselves back to a 2-2.
And with that, they do stay equalized for now, and they get the opportunity to go back towards that top floor as well. It has unlocked, and they'll use that opportunity to instantly go back there.
エンパイア
Not
か。
continuing rotation. Going
プロ
back
リー
to
グって
where
飽
you
き
found
るんよ
success
な、俺
before.
見てて。これ誰も見てなかったらもう
Stay
切
for
ろうか
now
な。
can still. Console meeting. An Empire, well, they have fought a clash. They saw previously. It's no longer in there. Got 6 picked out to an Echo, and we do